Hello, everyone. My name is Cameron Taylor, and I chose the interdisciplinary topic of freshwater scarcity. I chose to attack this issue from the perspectives of general business and human resource development. Now, water is extremely important, being necessary for a large range of functions, including supporting the life of all animals, including humans, being used to cook food, providing cleanliness and hygiene, and being necessary for the nutritional life of humans. Now, this issue is alarming for the entire world as it affects over 4 billion people each year. That's more than half of the population of the Earth. By being an interdisciplinarian, using the interdisciplinary research process, research and analysis was conducted on the effectiveness of the general business and human resource management tactics on combating the water scarcity issue, including the multitude of ways companies have positively affected change on the issue using innovative ways to reduce costs, the human resource department, and possibly restructuring their supply chain. Since there are many areas in the world that unfortunately do not have access to fresh water and cannot access the resources to fully utilize the little amount of water they have, research has been conducted, and I will be discussing topics related to that issue. I will then lay out some backgrounds of potential solutions requiring the disciplines to be synthesized and integrated with each other. However, this issue presents many complexities because it deals with many important factors, like the financial impact that's behind the lack of usable water, the ability of the human resource department to properly place the correct people in the correct position, and the overall corporate social responsibility that goes along with these factors, among many others. Although there have been some breakthroughs in the severity of this issue and reducing the severity, there have not been many. So in addition, this study will delve into different techniques that organizations are using to reduce their consumption of water and uses of natural resources to aid in the efforts to be victorious in this battle against water scarcity. While there are many other topics concerning this issue that can be studied, like politics, science, and even the conservation of nature, they are not the focus of the study at this time, and thus will not be included. The number of various subjects that need to be understood and integrated with each other to help accomplish this mission is what contributes to its complexity. Because it isn't possible for a single focus to address this issue by itself, there's an extremely important need to bring in insights from a multitude of disciplines like human resources and many aspects of the general business industry. For example, companies themselves are expected to take responsibility for their own impact on water resources. Additionally, there are many factors that both of these disciplines contribute to playing their part in trying to resolve this issue. The issue overall is the number of things that water does, and the implications of not having proper access to it. Since water has many beneficial uses, such as drinking it safely, limiting the threat of diseases by ensuring the cleanliness of sewage pipes, and practicing basic hygiene, this issue becomes complex quickly because this already has to involve multiple disciplines. Additionally, the staggering amount of people involved also contributes to its complexity, since over 4 billion people are facing water scarcity for a minimum of a month in a year, spanning multiple countries. As this has to do with such a large amount of people involved, many more people, studies, and disciplines are needed to cohesively resolve or innovate a solution. General business and human resources have the capability to greatly aid in the issue of water scarcity through making sure they efficiently use their resources, space, and personnel to keep track of their resource expenditures, their foundation of business, and their supply chain, and their recruitment of talent to help them accomplish that objective. Due to businesses being adaptable and able to conduct research on their own, train individuals and lead value and add value, and work together with the human resource department to further analyze their productions of products, they can contribute to a root of the issue: resource management. An example of this could be the company examining how they are affected by their water footprint, the sum of all water that was used in each stage of the production of a particular product, and it basically is the same amount as its virtual water content. The first step identifies where companies can look to see if they're using too much of the resource and how they can adapt to solve that problem. This, combined with other research endeavors like conducting an ecosystem value and running a cost-benefit analysis representing that, with planning, resource use can greatly be minimized in implementation. Moreover, human resource management can successfully assist or become the front line in helping to achieve the company's own general, business, and strategic goals to push forward their schedule and goals. This helps the entire company overall achieve success and be in a much more financially robust situation to lend aid and assist in the crisis as a whole in general. Upon the proper utilization of human resource management, a company can efficiently curb its natural resource waste while still achieving the desired revenue gain. Now, the elements of research conducted in regards to the discipline of general business helps to precisely point out ways in which certain business methods, actions, and transactions could come up with ways to help in solving the issue of water scarcity. This discipline brings several phenomena and insights to address the issue, including water footprinting, the water supply chain, market environmentalism, and industrial water rights. The discipline circumscribes both components of public and private management of resources to slow the spread of this issue and come up with new ways to keep the water supply healthy for business and civilian use. The general business perspective is to have a more noteworthy role in the ownership of the land rights, innovate cost-competitive ways to prevent the financial impacts of water shortages, and use less water for products overall. Businesses can positively impact the environment through the introduction of market-driven organizations and their reactions with the market, highlighting how business entities relate with their respective governments to balance the control between the rights that humans have to water. Now, putting water in financial terms, they have facilitated the process of business planning around the potential of future water shortages. A concept of the valuation of natural capital asset and the evaluation of project to assess 5 various solutions to prevent water scarcity. The businesses then intersect these productions to the global hydrological cycle, which is the cycle of water in the earth and the atmosphere. Revising a water footprint calculation, they can compare the production of their products, and their contribution to water scarcity, exploring phenomena of water stress characteristics and how reducing the pressure that global freshwater companies exhibit and how they can interact with policymakers to respond. This leads organizations themselves studying how they can become water neutral and improve further reductions of their water footprint. This all stems from major strategic decisions of the supply chain. Now, on the human resource side, the personnel factor can be defined by preparation, knowledge, incentive, and commitment to fulfill. Since project management is key in most organizations, the project success should be measured from different perspectives to measure the impact that the institution of human resources has to offer in that project. The fact that every single employee is affected by human resource management, so successfully implementing certain standards or processes will contribute greatly to the achievement of the goals that the business has set for themselves. In a case where employees may set their sights on helping issues such as water scarcity, the business can identify the goal needed to be met and employ HRM, human resource management, to guide employees to meet their goals and accomplish what they need to do in order to provide help. In the times we live in today, bad events and crises are unavoidable, especially this one concerning water scarcity. Human resources plays a vital part in business planning before the crisis, during the crisis, and after the crisis through revising short and long-term goals, reinvigorating and prioritizing the recruitment process, examining and re-evaluating the analysis of the job, and much more. Top management should work hand in hand to maintain employee trust, their motivation, and their faith to accomplish these objectives. These factors apply to both the normal and crisis-affected market conditions, so more companies have the ability to model their human resource management to resemble this sort of structure. Human resource management adds significant value for organizational performance. Because human resource management shapes a company's performance through increasing their knowledge, skills, and abilities, motivating employees to utilize their knowledge, skills, and abilities for the benefits of the firm's performance and sanctioning them to do so, the human resource department definitely matters. So if human resource management adds value to a company to increase the organization's overall performance, the human resource department should definitely be prioritized to ensure a company flourishes enough to focus their efforts and goals in helping to prevent future water scarcity. Now, although the disciplines of general business and human resources have similar coordinating functions in their establishment and purpose, They also have varying insights and theories. For example, the industry of general business theorizes that they have to consume massive amounts of natural resources like water to produce their products. Additionally, many corporations see instituting measures to reduce water waste and water consumption as much more challenging than simply making their operations more environmentally friendly. This is problematic as many businesses have supply infrastructure that spans across the globe and consumes lots of water with their production. So this theory of making their productions themselves more environmentally friendly, but not addressing some of the more problematic roots of the issues, could lead to further issues down the line. Although human resources is a subset of the business industry, coordinates its responsibilities with it, and provides extremely beneficial assets to it, their view on the issue is vastly different. Human resources takes note of the environmental toll that the modernization and globalization has on the environment to the point where future development in social, economic, and technological side of business are not going to be sustainable when it comes to natural resources. Also, they note that the businesses have to change structurally, meaning changing and implementing new practices all the way from the way they train their employees to achieve optimal productivity. They theorize that action, like policy changes and structural changes, must be taken to curb the business expense on water and the environment as a whole. Immediately, you can see the conflict between these two ideals and these two disciplines. On one hand, you have businesses sacrificing aspects and resources of the environment to make a buck or grow their business, instead of taking time and resources to better structure their company and adhere to policies like the other side that human resources is presenting. Additionally, a lot of companies dealing in production of goods that are being overtraded overexploit the use of resources, which directly conflicts with the insight that human resource provides, in which they are supportive of changing the corporate organizational structure for the benefit of not just the company, but the environment as well. But there is an amount of common ground that can be found within these two disciplines, though. Because the two disciplines are already so entwined, they share a lot of commonalities, like the importance they place on the supply chain, acceptance of policies designed to benefit the company, and general care for the environment they're using. Using the similarities both sides possess, common ground can be created based upon the mutual agreement that the prosperity of the business is what both sides are ultimately focusing on. Now, general business and human resources can collaborate on multiple facets of the company itself to help the company build a prosperous future for itself and better control the water usage to not only curb its own use, but to help issues relating to water scarcity. Since many businesses have already started to institute new policies and procedures to better manage their impact on the environment while producing their products, they now have to collaborate with their human resources department to further research and define issues within operations, like the supply chain, and begin to make adjustments to prevent further waste and start to keep track of their water footprint to curb their use of water. Working alongside human resources, the business can install the right people to accomplish that objective of fixing, adjusting, and innovating a new process that helps the business fulfill the goal of contributing to less water scarcity overall, while keeping employee morale, faith, and trust high, and to train the employees better so they can better utilize their abilities. This research study gives many insights into the number of ways that businesses can contribute to the issue of water scarcity by, first, not misusing or overexploiting the environment, and secondly, by efficiently using the natural resource to produce their products and being economically aware while doing so. Therefore, they can not only encourage better practices for utilizing the environment in their productions, but they can also serve as an example of the benefits when the work is done correctly and efficiently.